Today we have brought you the latest Tesla news. U.S. Transportation Department approves EV charging plans, covering 75,000 miles of road. Hertz CEO shares insights on Tesla rental demand. Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive is the most efficient EV, as per U.S. Department of Energy. And Tesla hikes Supercharger prices in California. Let's get into all the details. So let's get started. The U.S. Department of Transportation, US DOT, said on Tuesday that it has approved plans for electric vehicle charging stations for all 50 states. Together, they cover about 75,000 miles of highways. The $1 trillion infrastructure bill, passed in November 2021, provides $5 billion to help states install electric vehicle chargers along interstate highways over 5 years. Recently, it became clear that the U.S. is moving forward with its plan to support the development of electric vehicles. States now have access to more than $1.5 billion to set up electric vehicle charging stations, according to US DOT, Reuters reports. In September, the White House announced that it had approved 35 of the 50 state plans. At this point, it is not known exactly how the implementation of the plan by the states on the ground will proceed. The bill will not dictate how the states should do this, but will see to it that the process meets some of the standards they set. "We're not going to dictate to the states how to do this, but we do need to make sure that they meet basic standards," U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said earlier this year. US DOT said states should fund DC fast chargers, stations should have at least 4 ports capable of simultaneously charging 4 EVs, and install EV charging infrastructure every 50 miles along interstate highways, which are also located within 1 mile. Meanwhile, federal funds will cover 80% of the cost of building electric vehicle chargers, and the rest will be covered by private or state funds. By 2030, President Joe Biden wants 50% of all new cars sold to be electric or plug-in hybrid electric models. In addition, 500,000 new charging stations for electric vehicles should be built by that time. The U.S. president did not support the phasing out of sales of new gasoline-powered cars by 2035. Moving to the next update, Hertz CEO shares insights on Tesla rental demand. It appears that Hertz's bet on electric vehicles like Tesla's is paying off. During a recent interview, Hertz CEO Stephen Scher highlighted that the all-electric vehicles in the company's fleet of rental cars are seeing a lot of demand. Hertz made headlines almost a year ago when the American car rental giant placed an order for 100,000 Teslas as part of its efforts to transform its fleet into sustainable vehicles. In more recent announcements, Hertz also ordered EVs from other carmakers, such as Polestar and General Motors. In a recent segment on Yahoo Finance, the Hertz CEO was asked if the company's Tesla fleet was attracting interest among clients. Scher did not skip a beat when he responded that the demand for Hertz Teslas is very healthy. The CEO explained that Hertz's Teslas are not only being rented by travelers and ride-hailing drivers, some are being used by corporate travelers who work for companies that are looking to lower their carbon footprint. Hertz is looking to have 25% of its fleet be electric vehicles by the end of 2024. So far, only about 5% of the company's rental fleet is electric. Despite this, the momentum for EVs seems strong for the car rental giant, especially as Hertz has been seeing some substantial savings in the maintenance of its electric vehicles. The Hertz CEO also addressed a potential issue of range anxiety for customers, stating that the company is actively looking to secure charging support for its electric car fleet. Recently, Hertz announced an EV charging deal with BP, with the company planning on having support for thousands of charging stations across the country by the end of 2023. Of course, the company's Tesla fleet is already supported by the Supercharger network, which is arguably the best rapid charging network for electric cars in the United States. Moving to the next update, Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive is the most efficient EV, as per US Department of Energy. The Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive is the most efficient electric vehicle on the Department of Energy's highest MPG list for model year 2022 for electric vehicles. Tesla Model Y, with a slight lag, Model S and Model X entered the list as well. The U.S. Department of Energy, DOE, has published a list with the highest MPG for electric vehicles for the 2022 model year. It includes 17 electric vehicle models that have achieved an EPA cumulative rating of 100 miles per gallon equivalent or higher. Among those 17 models, there were a total of 37 unique configurations that achieved 100 mpg or higher. Mpg is a unit of measure used by the EPA to represent EV fuel economy in a common unit with gas-powered vehicles where 33.7 kilowatt-hours of electricity are equal to the energy contained in 1 gallon of gasoline. The Tesla Model 3, in rear-wheel drive configuration, achieved the highest rating with 132 mpg. This indicates the best efficiency in the segment, which automatically makes it the best choice for those who aspire to drive an electric vehicle. The constant improvements applied by the manufacturer to their vehicles ensure the best results over the years. After Model 3, Lucid Air is second on the list with an efficiency of 131 mpg. Right after it in the third place is the Tesla Model Y with 129 mpg. In fourth place, with 120 mpg, there are three models which include Tesla Model S, Chevrolet Bolt EV, and Hyundai Kona Electric. Tesla Model X also made the list in 17th place with 102 mpg. The great news is that the industry continues to evolve and several other electric vehicle manufacturers have joined Tesla to create the most efficient vehicles. The better and more economical electric vehicles are, the more people will want to switch to them, which will significantly accelerate the world's transition to environmentally friendly vehicles. Moving to the last update, Tesla hikes Supercharger prices in California. Tesla has announced a Supercharger price hike in California that is adding to the price increases throughout the last year. It's still not the price of a tank of gas, but it is now starting to get expensive. One of the biggest advantages of electric vehicles remains that their cost of operations is much lower than vehicles with internal combustion engines, thanks to electricity generally being much cheaper than gas. However, the cost of both gas and electricity has been skyrocketing over the last year, especially in Europe, because of the war in Ukraine and restrictions on Russian oil and gas. It used to be difficult to pay more than $5 or $10 for a full charge at a Tesla Supercharger. After several price increases throughout the last year, now many Supercharger stations are charging 50 cents per kilowatt-hours, which can result in a cost of $30 to charge 60 kilowatt-hours. Earlier this month, we reported Tesla announcing a major Supercharger price hike in Europe, mainly because of the energy crisis. Now Tesla is announcing something similar in California. The automaker wrote the following in an email to customers. Starting Wednesday, September 28, charging rates and off-peak hours will change at select Superchargers. Avoid the rush and save on charging costs when you begin your charging session during off-peak hours. Tap the Supercharger map pins on your in-vehicle touchscreen to view rates. In California and a few other popular EV markets, Tesla has been using the model of cheaper off-peak hours. The hours vary depending on the stations, but they are most often in the middle of the night, which is not exactly convenient for most drivers. Tesla owners in California say that many Supercharger stations now cost more than 50 cents per kilowatt-hours, but there are still a few stations at closer to 40 cents per kilowatt-hours during peak hours. Prices during off-peak hours, depending on the station, are generally offered at about a 30 to 40% discount. That's it for now. So what are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments. Stay tuned at the Electric Arena for all the latest Tesla and electric vehicle news.